and welcome to my channel. This is my last layout using the 4kidsat147 kit. You can see all the paper in the shop that I have left, so that sort of makes the end of a kit for me. So I'm using the chevron paper, which I've really liked since the beginning. In fact, I've liked all the papers since the beginning. I think that was my problem. So I'm scrapping another photo of my youngest, and this was also at my nephew's christening a couple of years ago. And I'm using the chevron paper as chevrons across the page. So I have no particular plans for how this is going to turn out. I was on a scrappy day, so I just kept scrapping. And that's where this last one came from. So I've cut out a few of the chevrons, and now I'm going to see how they may work on the page or may not. Make some of them thinner than others, and yeah, just generally chop paper up a mess. Isn't that what we all really do? So first off, I was thinking of layering the chevrons up so they all pointed to the picture. But I do end up changing that and spreading them about. In fact, I do quite a few different things to change it as per normal, though this video has been edited for your pleasure so that you don't have to see a lot of it. So I'm just having a look through the Dear Lizzie sticker sheet at the moment, and I pulled out this word whatever, which I did think I wanted to use. The expression on my daughter's face, even though it was taken by a photographer, does remind me of when she's like, yeah, okay, get on with it, take the picture, job done. Not as though she was particularly entertained by the fact. So I'm going to use the basis of the word whatever for my title, and then expand on that across the chevrons. So rather than bore you while I place each and every thicker on there, I am going to do a bit of heavy editing with that one, but the title will read Pulling the Whatever Face. So I'll just line a couple of those out, and then as if by magic I'm right near the end. Now I am already out of E's, so I am just doctoring a letter F and using a bit of a Z, which I'm not going to need. It's like you'd never notice. So in the interest of using up this kit and killing this kit, I am going to use the other big sheet of paper that I do have, which is this floral. So I've cut off the branding strip, which is the lovely coral colour again, and I will end up using that. So here it is to the right of the photo. And I did decide to ink around the edges in black. I was going to use an ink pad and then realised that I had none left. So I did use the actual ink pad directly. And I do like the way that turns out. It does give it a lot more of a bold black edge. I was contemplating outlining, but I didn't want the gap. So this ended up working really well for me. It did mean that I did need to leave quite a bit of drying time though. I do find if I use the ink pad straight, if I then try and put it on white cardstock, it's not going to look good. So with putting the coral strip down the side, I did feel as though I needed another chevron on there. So I'm just using some of my off-cut pieces, and then in the interest of them going in different directions, I have moved the face up a bit. So now they're all inked and they're all stuck down, and I'm going to work on a cluster up in the top corner. So there's a couple of the little banner pieces from the pink paisley pack, though I think I made those into banners, they were just tags. And then I have a cork heart up the top with a hashtag yes please. And then I'm using the last two of the other cork hearts that I have, so they will move about the page a little bit. At the minute the corks are on an angle, though the cork hearts, sorry, are on an angle, but I will end up straightening those up. I think the way the hearts are, with them being very symmetrical, I do think they work better straight. there. I'm trying to use that hello tag again, though unfortunately that doesn't make it, so that will end up in my stash. So we've got one poor cork little heart that's going to move around a few different places on the page, and this is the point where I decide to straighten the hearts up a little bit as they look a little bit better. I've also brought in some of the puffy stickers. The little pink one that says beautiful, that will stay on the layout, though the chevron pieces won't. I do like the look of them, but I couldn't quite find them there forever home. So I'm bringing in some of the vellum words again, which I do, as we know, really like, and the fact that I can lift them up and put them down again is always what we say is Brucey bonus. So at the top it says always be spontaneous, which can lead on to the title or not. So it could read a title as always be spontaneous, pulling the beautiful whatever face. So you can either choose to include them or not. And then I've got a second cluster just underneath whatever. I ended up keeping things very, very simple on this page. I did try adding more, but found it wasn't working. I think with the chevron paper being so busy, it did a lot of the work for me already. So underneath whatever, there will be 2 hearts, one in cork and one in the coral paper, and I will end up taking the sticker off from the little black sticker from the vellum sheet. So I'm just going to move a couple more things about here before I do decide it's not working. And the chevrons are on the move. So they move a couple of different places. Why I didn't put them on wax paper, I'm not sure. I liked the idea of them. I think I just needed a few more for it to work where it was, and it just wasn't quite looking exactly how I wanted it to. Now this is the point where I decided that actually the title could do with being all a little bit more to the left. So I've pulled each of those up and moved them over, which is another thing that makes stickers wonderful, is they can deal with people like me that moves them all over the place without ruining my layout. So all of those have moved over to the left, and I do feel as though they are now coming from that piece of coral paper a little bit more connected, and that's the reason the coral strip is there. So I think this is the point where I decide that the word beautiful is going to be best above whatever, after trying it in a couple more places, or maybe it's not. Now we're going to move the cork heart again, a few different places and then back where it was. I like the way the angle was pretty much the same angle as the chevron, and that's why that ended up settling there. There was a bit of a gap, so an exclamation mark will mark the spot and fill that little space up for me. Trying a few different tags and things as well, but finally settled on that little coral heart. And that is pretty much what my layout will look like. I'm just going to try the chevrons in a few more places and then eventually pop that word beautiful where it will finally rest. There will be a few close-ups coming up soon, and if you do like these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and anything that you do or do not want to see, please let me know in the comments below. I always love to read your comments, and I will comment to everyone that I can. Thanks for watching.